When I was asked to speak, I thought they asked me to speak on behalf of farmers, so I didn't just want to bring my thoughts. I contacted a number of friends and fellow farmers, and I said, what do we need to say? So I wanted to first share 3 things that as farmers we want. First, we want these companies to take responsibility and liability for what they are doing. If I have a dog and it gets loose, I lose control of it, and it bites somebody or does some damage, I'm going to be in trouble. But if they have genetically modified organisms that are getting out and poisoning you, affecting your health, they're not held liable. If they're getting out into the environment and causing disruption to the ecosystem, they're not held liable. And if they destroy the markets for organic food, we have no recourse. The victims are being made to pick up all the externalized costs while they pick up the profits. That is ridiculous, and we should be very angry about it. And I'll talk about what we can do about that later. But the second thing is, we gotta have labeling so you can choose whether you want to be part of a feeding trial that's nationwide. Most of us don't, which is why the companies don't want the stuff labeled. They'd lose in the marketplace. So they've got to deceive you by having it hidden in the food. So labeling's the second thing. The third thing is there's a significant battle line on the issue of genetically modified alfalfa. It poses huge risks to the organic and the non-GMO markets that are out there. And it's not something that even conventional farmers want. And certainly we don't want it, we don't need it, and we should be encouraging our politicians to say no. So that's the first side of what we want. But the hopeful thing I want to tell you today is that Monsanto is part of a failed paradigm. It's a paradigm that says we have to wage war on nature. And they've been waging war on nature, and we have, as a society, as an industrial agriculture, have been waging war. It's a war we're going to lose.
Oh!
Pests develop resistance, weeds develop resistance, and we end up putting more and more poisons into the environment, at the same time killing off the beneficial insects, the predatory and parasitic insects, songbirds, the pollinators. We're destroying the environment. But having been involved in this for over 40 years, I am also very hopeful, because when I see a crowd like this, there is a huge paradigm change happening across our culture and our society. And that paradigm change is that we are recognizing that we are part of nature, and that we have to be in partnership with nature, whether it's designing our food system to work with nature, or designing our transportation, or all the different things that we do. We have to partner with nature and model our actions after natural systems. And so as organic farmers and ecological farmers, it's not just that we're against genetically modified organisms, or against chemical pesticides, or against highly soluble and toxic chemical fertilizers. It's that we're for soils that are biologically diverse and healthy soils, because those healthy soils can help us produce and grow healthy and nutrient-dense plants, which can then provide healthy food for healthy animals and healthy people in a healthy society and community. So that's what we've got to be for. And I want to share with you something that's exciting to me that's happening with our farm. Because we were approached by a filmmaker, Rebecca Garrett, because she said, it's so much negative news out there, we want to make a film about something that's working with nature. And so if you're interested in that, go to Meeting Place Organic Film. It's an Indiegogo campaign, blatantly commercial here at the moment, but sorry about that. She asked me to do it. But there's a trailer there, and it is an opportunity, because it's not enough to be against something. We have to be for something. And if we're for something, we have to know what it is. So there are alternatives out there. The last point I'd like to make is today we're marching against Monsanto, and that's great. But you can be munching against Monsanto 3 times a day.
Yes!
With every meal you take, with every bite of food, if you want to munch against Monsanto, you can choose to eat for the environment. So it's not just being against something, you're eating for the environment when you eat ecologically produced and organic foods that are produced by people who say, no, I don't want to have anything to do with those GMOs. But even more importantly, when you go back today to your local grocery store, talk to the manager, talk to the staff and say, why aren't these things labeled? I don't want to be part of a feeding trial. Tell your head office, we want labeled food. We want to know if there are GMOs in these crops. And I'm going to stop buying food unless it's labeled clearly as non-GMO. And that's a way you can not only munch against Monsanto, but take a big bite out of their profit.
Yes!
Good luck and go for it. Thank you as a farmer. It's great to see you here. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And when you eat your Thanksgiving meal, think of us farmers. Take care.